oh, that is dumb.
No, the first thing he told me.
And I said, hey, Tumber, could you repeat what you said? And then whenever he was restating, then he fucking said, oh, yeah, he said he didn't know. He didn't know. And even
okay, but do you admit that you said
I said afterwards, I explained my position, and I said exactly what Chom is saying. So Tumber holds this fucking notion, and he's misrepresented me again in order for him to make me look bad. And
okay, let's just stick with this.
Here.
Let's just stick with this, Tasteless. Let's just stick with this. Is it a contradiction to say you know it's irrational, but
Hold
you
on,
don't
before
know
you
it's
say that really quick, look, even if Tasteless' hypothesis is just dumb, right? Because he's saying that I intentionally like misrepresented him in a way to make him look stupid. But if he answered the other question also, that would be just as stupid. Right, if he says he doesn't know...
I already explained to you.
If he says, I don't know...
No, you fucking stupid. That was what I said.
If he says, excuse me, if he says,
that
I don't know...
was what I said. And then I provided you with the explanation. Chum just gave me, and you hold this information, and now you're trying to go back and make me look bad as if you don't have this information, you stupid fuck.
Yeah, so anyway, let me finish.
And people conceded to this, even also said, well, he got it right. And you are using now this fucking,
Jesus. Yeah, so if he's saying that, right, what he actually said when to the question was, are intuitions irrational? He said, I don't know. And the first I said, he said no, right? But that's just as bad a contradiction as what he's saying that I misrepresented him with, right? So to say that I misrepresented him with the intention of making him look bad is just like false, because both of them look just as bad.
Well, no, if he were to say that no, it's not irrational, then he'd be completely consistent.
Then he'd be being consistent, yeah.
This is what I'm saying. I mean, and
but he's denying. Well, that's the thing.
This information, Joe.
He can't say it's. He can't say it's irrational if it's irrational.
People know that whenever he asked me about.
Right. He can't agree.
People conceded that and say, well, he got it right.
Originally, I misspoke.
Now he's trying to say,
but that's
act as if he doesn't have that fucking information, and now he's trying to make me look back.
If he misspoke, Tasteless, listen to me. If he misspoke and said, Tasteless, listen to me. Okay, let's say he tried to misrepresent you by saying that you said it wasn't irrational. How is that? That's helping.
Holy fucking shit, you stupid motherfucker.
No, that's also just as bad.
It doesn't matter. This is what I'm saying, Jovan.
He can't say it's rational or.
It is very clear.
He can't say, Jovan, he can't say it's rational or irrational. If it's
not saying he
hold on. I think that's kind of a false dichotomy there. If he says it's not irrational, that doesn't imply it's rational.
That's not what we said, Sam.
But I mean, Tomer was trying to make it seem like that.
Truth value.
Unless you were responding to Tasteless.
No one. Let me fucking.
You're giving a truth rational to
Tomer received the information and clarification about this shit, and he's acting now as if he doesn't have that fucking knowledge, and he just he said this stupid shit. Could you believe this? Whenever it is clarified already, Joe.
Okay, let's just drop all the meta. Let's just drop all the meta.
Me about fucking this,
meta, right?
And now he's getting chomped to explain something that I was explaining before. You stupid fuck.
Let me just drop all the meta.
This is what I'm saying. He has that information, and he's acting like as he doesn't know the clarification that was being made for him to make him seem as if I was saying some stupid shit. Okay? This is how dishonest Tomer is. He has that information. He has the clarification. And he's just repeating it to make me look bad. That's all that's happening here. And you're falling like a fucking asshole.
No, because Tasteless, what he told me, was anything that he told me incorrect? Where he said that...
You were saying, oh, Tasteless, did you say that? And I said, well, first of all, let's go step by step. What did I say? It is not my current position. What did I say?
Right, you said it's...
Whenever he repeated himself, said, yeah, he said he didn't know.
Okay, let's just go through it real quick.
That was at the time.
I'll just go through it with you. Just stop talking for a second so I can go through it.
We're trying to keep it truthful. This is what happened. At first, whenever he asked me that fucking question, I said I didn't know. Then I clarified whenever people said, but Tasteless, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yes. Something irrational means you are not using rationality to achieve its conclusion, okay? That is being irrational. Now, irrational is something that goes against fucking rationality. Therefore, of course, it cannot be fucking irrational because you're not using rationality. I explained this to Tomer. Tomer knows this, and he's acting as it doesn't if that didn't happen. This is how Tomer is so just dishonest, dude. And you're falling into the fucking game. And he's manipulating all you guys, and you're letting Tomer be a dishonest piece of shit that he is for your entertaining.
Is any of this true, Tomer?
False.
Did Tasteless, before I came in here, already concede that it's irrational and that he knows it's not irrational?
There's the video, man. You can
check
it out.
He was saying it was irrational and a fallacy at the same time.
Basically, the disagreement here now is Tasteless is saying that when he said "I don't know," he misspoke and clarified later. Tomer is saying that when he said "I don't know," he meant it. That's the current disagreement. Tasteless can correct me if I'm wrong, or
exactly. That's exactly right.
So it's just who you want to believe, really.
Here, Jovan, I'll play it exactly for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Nigger.
Please don't be long.
All right, let's try again. Genesis. Are intuitions irrational?
Yes.
Can an intuition be irrational?
I don't know.
Yikes. This is your Bruno Postman messenger.
What? What?
If you would only use the line arguments that I'm proposing to Taste, you could represent the whole room already. I think you would go.
Well,
I feel like why not?
It's very
Danny said that we can find out that something that was once irrational becomes irrational.
Well, it is very simple. I don't know exactly what he means whenever he says irrational. All I'm saying is this. Whenever he's asking me, are intuitions rational? No, they are not, because they are not, the result of a logical conclusion. They are just the result of us interpreting the world and taking truth at face value. Okay, it is irrational in that sense. Now, can that process?
It's irrational in that sense.
In the sense that
irrational.
The rules and fucking the rules and norms of logic are being contravened or attacked. They go against that. I don't know that. If that is what you're asking me, if it is not the case, well then you should expand on what you mean by irrational and irrational.
That was painful.
Okay, I think we settled this, right?
So you just didn't understand what irrational meant?
No. He goes on to define it, and he defines.
We spent like fucking 20 minutes on that topic, and then when other people asked me, I clarified the same thing. Okay.
I said this earlier because he doesn't understand
like I said, I didn't know because it was for me it was dumb, because if you're saying you're not using rationality, to achieve your intuitions, that's why it's irrational. Yes. Whenever something is irrational, it means it goes against fucking rationality or logic. Yes. So to me, I was saying, well, I don't know if that is what you mean, then I would say yes, it is irrational. But I wanted Tomer to clarify what he meant whenever we were talking about this.
So when they said go against irrationality, you thought it meant just not use rationality?
Whenever you say irrational, you're not using
irrational.
Whenever you say irrational, you go against the logical rules of logic.
Right, but it seems like you're saying irrational. If Tomer
is referring to the same thing, This is what I wanted to know. For Tomer, what is rationality and irrationality? Irrationality and irrationality. That's it. Because we might not get the same fucking idea. And I wanted Tomer to clarify what he meant.
No, you go on and do that, and you understand what rational and irrational
Once
is.
I understand what that we're on the same page, then I was able to make the call and say yes. Then intuitions are cannot be irrational.
The way you just explained it a minute ago, Taste, it sounds like you're saying irrational and irrational were exactly the same thing.
No.
Yes, I'm just telling you the way you just explained it a minute ago, because you're saying that irrational. If you understand irrational to be without using or not using reason, but that's
irrational is just fallacious.
To reach the conclusion,
that's saying what he said,
without a fucking logical process. This is what I said irrational was. Now,
but you're also saying
whenever he laughed, I said, well, maybe Tomer is referring to something else when he's saying irrationality. So, Tomer, what do you refer by irrationality? Now, once I knew that we were in the same page, that means I go against, logic rules, then it cannot be irrational. But we're on the same page because I didn't want Tomer to misrepresent me as he does. Whenever he's asking something and referring to one thing, I didn't want to equivocate and say, well, this is what I mean, or I understand about to be rational.
What did you think he meant by
maybe
irrational?
I should just play the rest of it because we go on to define the terms and we are in agreement, and he still affirms that what he said wasn't a contradiction. Should I play it? Play more?
Yes, play it.
Here we go.
Dishonest piece of shit.
I mean, what I understand is that it is not the result. Your conclusion is not the result of a logical process that is being irrational. You're not using, the process to conclude a certain.
That's irrational.
It's irrational.
No, that one.
Now, what is irrational? What is irrational?
I don't think it would be irrational. Like a preference isn't irrational.
What is the distinction between irrational and irrational? Go look up what irrational means. All it means is not rational. No, Radson is wrong as usual. Irrational means it's not contingent on reasoning. Irrational means it's flawed reasoning.
Nice save, Sam.
Yeah, that sounds pretty much right there.
Exactly, this is what I did look up. So
now you're just equivocating on not.
No, it is exactly what Sam said. If it goes against the rules of logic, then it is irrational. If it's not using the rules of logic, it is irrational. Are we talking about irrationality or irrationality? No. Tell me then what is irrational then? What is irrational?
What is irrational? I don't understand.
What does it mean, stupid?
Can't hear your voice, Tom.
What irrationality is?
Yes, irrational. What does
Tom, get out from under the bed. You gotta get to
What is that? What would that be? Explain.
False. Fallacious.
Correct reasoning?
Dude, Tom can't hear you, dude.
Yeah, we can't hear a word you're saying, Tom.
Oh,
he was saying that irrational is correct.
Irrational is not false.
He misspoke.
Yeah, I mean, Tasteless had the definitions pretty much right. He understands what they mean. Oh, well, I mean, I think.
Because you seem like you understood exactly what it meant in that.
Of course I did. This is why it's irrelevant for Tomer to bring it up as if it wasn't clarified, dude.
No, he was trying to show that it was clarified, not that it wasn't.
No, he said that what I said was stupid, and that he as if it was not clarified.
Well, no, it was stupid because it was clarified.
No, oh really? So
yes.
You're saying then that there can be such thing as irrationality when something is irrational? What? Is that what you're saying?
If something is irrational, right, it's also not irrational.
Can we stop saying irrational?
This is what we're saying, dude. Irrational cannot be irrational because it's not using reasoning to fucking conclude.
Yeah,
it cannot be rational.
It's so autistic.
Or irrational.
Yeah, wait. Everybody quiet. Yeah, that's the point, right? Therefore, if someone asks you if something is irrational, and you say, yeah, it's irrational, then from that follows that it can't be irrational. And when Tom asks you if something is irrational, and you say yes, and he asks you if something is irrational, then the answer you have to give is already settled, right? Because since you answered the question that if something is irrational with yes, then you have to answer the second question with no.
But he already clarified when he said I don't know that he misspoke.
No,
I didn't spoke. I was saying, well, I don't know what you're referring to.
Outline the
because if you're referring to something else, that I don't know. But tell me what it is that you're referring to. Now that when Tomer accepted that we were on the same page, then I'm able to make the call to answer his question. Because of course I can answer under my understanding, but perhaps Tomer is referring to something different. And whenever I asked the question, he said, "Well, irrationality is the correct reasoning."
Rationality.
Irrational. I was asking you what irrationality was.
Tom misspoke. I think someone else said you changed it.
Of course, he misspoke. He's not that dumb. But this is what I wanted to get an agreement first before I can answer his fucking question. Because why? Because the question doesn't follow. It is stupid. The question. I'm sorry. So whenever I say irrational, and he asked me the second fucking question, it is misleading. Yes. So I say, well, perhaps he's referring to something different. What is it that you're referring to? Because my understanding is that something goes against the laws of logic or the rationality for it to be irrational. Yes. This is why.
So you're saying because the answer was so obvious that you thought he was asking you something different?
Well, of course, I had to first verify that he was referring to the same thing in order for me to answer his question, which is, of course, dude, if you're not using reasoning, you cannot be fucking irrational. So whenever he clarified, I'm able to make the call. So but before that, I knew that Tomer was going to attempt to do this, and that fucking question is misleading because we can fucking have different understandings about it. Yeah,
but you realize that literally if Tom was trying to use a different definition of irrational on you there, if you would have just answered no, then if he tried to use a different definition, you would have just fucked him in the ass.
No, because he would have said, but he was referring that the things are
because everyone would have pointed out that Tom changed the definition of irrational and used the proprietary definition.
You know that he would. That was exactly what he was trying to do when he said that I said no. That is exactly what he was trying to do.
He misspoke.
No. He was trying to project or to make it seem as if I was saying that they are rational. Okay? And this is a gross misrepresentation because he had that information already.
They're both incorrect. I don't see why you think it matters.
No. If you're saying, Tom, listen to what he's saying. He's saying that when you asked him if it's irrational, he said, no, it's not irrational. That would be correct.
No.
Even so, you might get the
wait. What do you mean, Tom? If it's irrational, then it's not irrational.
Tasteless is being dishonest. The reason why.
Wait. I want to get this through with Tom now. Jesus, Tom. If you say no, it's not irrational. Then you're agreeing with yourself when you said it was irrational, right?
I don't think so.
This is we just.
I don't think you can say rational with the truth value, yes or no, if it's irrational.
Oh, so you're saying when you say it's irrational, you can't answer yes or no when they asked if it's irrational?
Yeah.
Right, because it's not rational. So it can neither be in accord with the rational.
Well, wouldn't saying that it's irrational be just fine with saying that it's not irrational? Because by saying it's irrational, it's contained within that it's not irrational.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tricky, but I think irrational means that you can't say it's irrational or irrational. You can't make a judgment on that. I think that's what it means to be irrational.
This was my white knight.
I think when you say it's not irrational, it's just kind of like
you're implying that it's rational.
I kind of see what you're saying, but I can't really put it into words.
No, I think I see what you're saying is when you say it's not irrational, there's an implication that it's rational. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think it's like a category error. Like if you think that it's irrational, right? To say whether or not it's irrational, I think you can't apply that to this, right?
Right. I can see what you're saying.